Hi everyone, and welcome to a Transformers review, but it's not a toy review this time, but another one of these IDW books. And yes, we're finally back to reviewing one of these IDW Transformers books after a year ago.
Well, I wouldn't say a year ago. A couple months back. I wouldn't say a year ago. Anyway, this has been on and off. So we just got finished with it. We only had about 4 chapters last night to take care of. So I said, let's just go ahead and do it, and let's go ahead and do a review on it. He does love these IDW books. He loves them.
Yes, cause they have like stuff in it that's not for children.
Yeah, it's more of an adult theme. They get graphic on some of their content in the books and stuff like that. So it's.
But also have some character development in the books.
Yeah. It's a different take. It's a different take on some of the stories that we know, and they added some things in, and so it's just different. It's different. It's just another part of the universe of Transformers.
And almost forgot, joining here is, of course, my dad and Smiley here.
Hey, y'all. So, Colton says hi. I say hi. And that's Colton. I'm Dad. This is Mr. Smiley. We just included him not too long ago. There's a whole other story behind this guy right here. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get him out the way. And he says bye. Take care. So anyway, the IDW is different, and there's a lot of character and depth to it, and some angles that we haven't seen before on some characters, and there's nothing wrong with that. So anyway,
but they do have some references, like from the Generation 1 cartoon, and also from the 86 movie, and some other continuity cartoons of Transformers, like from Beast Wars and some others. But here, where we're at now, this is what we're going to be reviewing, that we've just got done reading, is Phase 2, Volume 2 of the IDW Transformers book series. And
before we go any further, it's good to see y'all. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, go.
So here we have a nice picture of Bumblebee here. And on the side we have Transformers IDW Collection Phase 2. And on the back we have his Cybertronian vehicle mode, which is like the one from the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron video games. And here it tells you... Yes. Here it tells you what's in it here.
So, besides the channel, he also wanted to start checking out the books, so the books helped him out a lot too. So it's a growing deal, and we read it together. He reads it with us, and we just we go through the stories together, and he's so he reads it, and we listen as he reads it, and we correct him on some words here and there, but it's not bad. It's not bad. What a difference so far that he has come since just 5 years ago, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So anyway, go ahead, Colton.
Okay, so let's take a look in here. But I do want to warn y'all. If you remembered from the previous IDW books that we do, they do come with that little black bookmark where you put it on a place where you left off. Well, mine on this book does not have that. But I did always remember where we left off.
He does. I can testify to that. He don't forget.
So let's flip through. And also, in this book here, y'all are going to be hearing some references from the from the 86 Transformers animated movie, because there are parts in here that should sound familiar to y'all. Okay, so in this book we have the 12-issue miniseries of Autocracy, the continuations of More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in the Skies, and we have three spotlights. We have the spotlight of Trail Cutter or Trailbreaker. We have the spotlight of Hoist and the spotlight of Orion Pax. And I of course need my dad's help on some of the stuff in here that some of these I can remember, and some I probably need my dad's help, because I'm not gonna remember a lot. But let's go to the 12-issue miniseries of Autocracy.
Autocracy. Now,
And I am gonna have to zoom in here some.
The Autocracy, is that the one we just finished last night?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give y'all a little spot reference of this. Some of this of Autocracy towards the end kind of follows the story of the cartoon from 1986, but then it throws another little wrench in it. Actually, it's a pretty good story. It really is.
This series is also like a continuation from Megatron Origins and some other a few other ones, like one from the Chaos Theory from Phase 1, Volume 8. And the reason why I said Megatron Origins is because this is after Megatron became the Decepticon leader and gathered up his army. And also, we do get the introduction here of Zeta Prime, and Zeta Prime in this is not really a good Prime.
He's pretty much off of his rocker. He's pretty much off of his rocker, and yeah, he's got his own agenda.
And the Autobots, with their leader, Orion Pax, not Optimus.
Not Optimus.
Yet.
That's right, because in this story right here, they're like officers. They're like officers of the peace, in a way.
Like from Nyan.
Yes. Yes.
That there is a place in here that's part of Cybertron called Nyan.
Yeah.
And Zeta gathered up some thing. Well, he gathered up some of this red energon stuff, and he used it to make this weapon called the vampire ribbon for what we for what we remember here.
So following through the story, it's pretty okay. They weren't full-fledged. They were keepers of the peace, kind of like officers. Okay, in this part, and then towards the middle, Megatron is like, this is Zeta Prime and Orion Pax, and Megatron. Towards the end of the story, kind of grouped up, and they're like, no, Zeta Prime, you're not going to kill the Autobots or Orion Pax. So Megatron. Megatron jumped in, and pretty much Orion Pax and Megatron made a pact to join forces together to take down Zeta Prime.
But before that they did that, Megatron and Orion had a little talk, and Megatron was telling Orion about what's going on with Zeta, and Megatron showed Orion a little hologram video. But then Orion, if we remember, is like, how could I trust you, right?
Orion, Orion Pax, he's on guard because he knows that he's talking to Megatron. He knows that the only way that they can defeat Zeta Prime is if Megatron and him basically merge as a one optimal force against Zeta Prime to defeat him. That is the only way. And even at that, Orion Pax is like, I cannot believe that I am uniting with Megatron and the Decepticons, but we have no choice. So therefore, Orion knows that he must stand guard, but one thing about Orion Pax is that, he was very trustworthy. So pretty much at the end of Autocracy, Orion and Megatron It looks like Zeta Prime was fixing to whoop up on all the Autobots, including Orion Pax. That's when Megatron comes in from a surprise distance and just out of the shadows and shoots Zeta Prime. Where Zeta Prime thought that there was no allegiance there was no group effort. He just thought it was just him against the Autobots. You know, stuff like that, or the Decepticons. He didn't think that they would join legions to go against him. So at the end of Autocracy, towards the end, that's what they did. As Zeta Prime is going after Orion Pax, that's when Megatron comes out, basically the shadows, and blows a hole in Zeta Prime. Basically,
it was Ultimate Orion, you mean?
is it?
Oh well, he did kill Zeta.
Yeah.
Also, we do get the first introduction of Hot Rod in this.
So basically, after Zeta Prime was taken out, then guess what? Then Megatron showed his true colors with Orion Pax being off guard. So can you guess what happened to Orion Pax?
It's at the very end here, but we're just about there. Also, going back to Zeta Prime, Zeta Prime did bring over some Omega Destructors, which are the ones that look like Omega Supreme, but the Omega Destructors are like you can call like the
Guardians, Clone Guardians.
Clone Guardians, and they were like annihilating nine.
Yeah, they were.
And I'm trying to like get to that part of what you were talking about, Dad. But here in this panel we have Orion and Megatron shaking hands together, going to stop Zeta Prime after what my dad says is going to happen after Zeta is defeated or annihilated.
Yeah, so this is showing them having joint allegiance between Autobots and Decepticons that Zeta Prime don't know anything about.
Okay, I'm at this panel here. So here's Megatron, and here he points his fusion cannon on the bottom of Zeta Prime's head, and he shoots him here.
Yep, gonna need one big Advil. Bear may be better. I don't think Advil's gonna be strong enough.
And here you can see Megatron is looking at Zeta, who's now dead, and when Orion Pax gets on his feet, oh. Yeah. gets on his feet on this panel here. Here at the top, Megatron says, that won't be necessary. And Orion goes, Megatron? And then Megatron shoots Orion from the back through the chest, which leaves a massive hole on his chest. And then Optimus falls down through the hole, and Megatron says here, goodbye, Orion.
So that shows you the devil, the demonish, the cunning, the deceptiveness that Megatron has in him. He joined the Legions enough with the Ryan Pax to take out Zeta Prime. And that worked. But guess what? Megatron, he's got to be the ruler. He's got to be number one. There is nobody else above him. To him, he is Lord and King over the whole planet Cybertron. So with the Ryan Pax trying to get up and stuff like that, Megatron's just like, hey, don't worry about that. And I mean, he just blows a hole straight through Ryan Pax. So now Ryan Pax knows that he messed up. So basically, with the hole in Orion Pax, he goes down the hole, and he literally hits the ground. And now he's pretty much obliterated.
But then, here we go. Well, before we get to that, after Orion has been obliterated, Megatron right here leaves a message to all the Cybertronians here about what's gonna happen here.
And he pretty much, in his own way, say, look, it's going to be done my way. If it's not my way, you will be brought to judgment. And if you don't like that, we can get it settled. And he says that it gives amnesty for right now for the Autobots if they do not turn to Megatron to join the Decepticons. And he says, if you don't, then we will find you. And we will bring you in. That's pretty much what he was saying. That and some other things, but that's pretty much the gist of it.
And for Orion, which you may think he's dead, but not really.
He's barely hanging on. He sees something in the background and it's calling him.
Yep, and it is none other than the Matrix of Leadership.
Correct.
So.
And he knows that he's dying.
Yes.
He knows that he's dying, but this object, this whatever it is, what he sees off in the background is calling him. So therefore, he has to muster up pretty much every strength that he has left in his body to make his way to it.
Which is the Matrix of Leadership. Mm-hmm. So Orion that doesn't walk, but he's crawling to the Matrix who's calling him, and the Matrix reformats Orion into none other than Optimus Prime. So now he's no longer Orion, he is now Optimus Prime.
So now he's now Optimus Prime. He's been his servos, his sensors, everything that was wrong with him has now been pretty much healed. And now, I'd have to say towards the end it gets kind of comical when he was reading it last night. Because you have Starscream, and you know Starscream, he's something else. It's comical the way that they put it in there towards the end. And I do not know if is it there. Let's see something. Let me see here where he's talking to Megatron. Y'all hold on right quick. Let me see. Is that the part with Starscream down there at the bottom?
No, that's with Skyly.
I'm trying to get to the part where he says, though they don't look like they're. That's it, right there.
Okay, here we go.
Say, they got, I don't know exactly, I had to look at the book to read it word from word, but it goes something to sum it up. Okay, once Optimus Prime shows up with the allegiance of the Cybertronians and Autobots to end the rule of Megatron. And then it goes to another slide where you have Megatron and Starscream. Starscream's like, what? I thought you said that you ended him. And Megatron's like, I did. And Starscream's like, well, they don't look scared. As a matter of fact, it looks like they're all coming for us. And Megatron's like, that's impossible. And Starscream's like, no, they're right there at the back door. Fixing to come in. It's worded in something like that, but the way it's worded was humorous. It made me laugh when I start reading in context. So, anyway, it's kind of hard to understand. You literally have to read the book to understand it. Okay, so anyway, that's when Megatron's like, oh no, I cannot believe we're fixing to have an all-out war right here. Megatron, you got Megatron, Starscream, and Soundwave on both sides of him. And there they go. I mean, they just get after it. The Autobots, Cybertronians going after the Decepticons. So, in the middle of the heat, if I'm right, Bumblebee starts questioning the faith in the Autobot banner and the cause. And Optimus Prime is trying to tell B in the middle of the attack and stuff like that, have faith. Have faith. We're going to win. And Bumblebee's like, I don't see how we can win. And then they had Seekers from the top shooting them from the very top, going down at the group down there that was going after Decepticons. So they're getting barraged from up high and then on the sides. So, I mean, the Autobots and Cybertronians, they're just fighting for their life now. And then,
And also, Megatron does make a quote here that's from the 86 movie saying, royal than what you imagine, Optimus Prime, which is from the beginning of that movie. After Megatron and the Decepticons went to that little ship thing and annihilated some of those Autobots on that ship from the 1986 Transformers the movie. And they got that line in this book here. But we are going to see a little more, and we're almost there, because we're at the last chapter here of Autocracy. But here, I do want to show y'all, we do get the appearance of the Dinobots here, which is Grimlock, and we are going to see more of these in other stories, of course. And also, we do get the first appearance of Metroplex in this, and Optimus calls upon him and he arises out, and Metroplex explains to Optimus that he's known him, but Optimus is all like, I don't know you. But then Metroplex starts explaining about Optimus. And he's also one of an ancient Titan's Cybertronian. From what you've heard in here.
Yeah.
If you remember. And here's Metroplex here. And this here, Megatron made a thing here which is called the Vampire Annihilator, which is used to take out everything here, like you could see here. But then Metroplex comes out and tries to finish off the Vampire Annihilator. Oh, and here's this page that I was gonna to show y'all about. So, this page, these pictures should look familiar to y'all here. Because here, you could see Megatron is on the ground and Optimus has his gun pointing at him. But Megatron looks at a gun and was about to carry it and shoot Optimus with it. But then Hot Rod from here goes, "No you don't, Megatron!" And Optimus says, "Out of the way, Hot Rod!" So they do kept the line there, but they did made a few changes here. So Megatron does have his arm around Hot Rod so he could like see his leader die. But then Hot Rod transforms, rolls out next to Optimus, and then Optimus and Hot Rod just starts, you can see here, shooting at Megatron.
Okay, to put it in text, okay, so right here, Optimus Prime, Megatron, they're going after it, and then Hot Rod jumps in the way, and then Optimus Prime is like, "Out the way, Hot Rod." And Hot Rod, the difference is Hot Rod transforms and gets away from Megatron. And then Optimus Prime says, in a way, "I told you." And that's pretty much basically what he said, and he blows a hole in Megatron.
Well, Optimus says, "You were warned."
Yeah, he says, "You was warned."
Like that.
Yeah,
that means like.
Like, I've already told you. You did something stupid. I tried to warn you. This time I'm not saving you. I'm taking you out.
He's talking to Megatron, right?
Yeah, well, when he says, "I warned you," that's what he means.
To Megatron?
Yeah, in other words, that's it. I'm going to end you.
But he doesn't kill Megatron. Megatron actually gets up.
Yes.
And says...
Megatron is very badly hurt.
But then he says, "You think you've beaten me, Prime? That you've won? You just started a war, the likes of which this world has never seen." Right here. And then in the background, Astrotrain comes out, and Soundwave is inside Astrotrain. And then Soundwave grabs onto Megatron, and then Soundwave, Megatron, and Astrotrain both fly off.
Yes. So what it is Astrotrain comes in there. Soundwave is already in Astrotrain. Soundwave reaches out for Megatron. Megatron grabs Soundwave, and then Soundwave pulls Megatron into Astro Train, and they're able to get away.
And here, Shockwave is telling the Decepticons, Decepticons, fall back. Prepare for extraction. And this Decepticon here, I forgot his name, but he says, Decepticons never retreat. But here it says, it is the only logical course we have left. So then the Decepticons, including Megatron, all retreat.
Yep.
And then the Autobots are now wondering what to do.
They're like, what's coming next? For right now we have peace, but we don't know for how long. Because the war's done started between the Autobots and Decepticons. Whatever peace treaty that there might have been is now gone out the window. So,
and that is the end of autocracy. Now we're at the spotlight of Trail Cutter here. Now, this spotlight here is, well, it is about Trail Cutter, but here he's not really named Trail Cutter. He's actually named Trail Breaker before he was called Trail Cutter in this. So here we have Trail Cutter here. Okay. Here he's like doing one of his like force field thing. And speaking of the force field, there's a part in here of the spotlight that's kind of funny. And you too remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And here we see Rodimus and most of the Lost Light crew here. And here we see one of the Rodimus badges here that's given out to someone. And and I think for what I remember, Trail Cut is like wants a Rodimus star here. Yeah, for what I remember. But here we have Trail Cutter here, and along with the others, including Chrome Dome here, at what looks like Swerve's bar here. Oh, and here we have Whirl and he's showing his facial expressions. I use that in quotations because Whirl doesn't really have a face. He just has like the one eye here, like shockwave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Here in this part, we see that Whirl and Trail Cutter are walking together while they're talking. And Whirl tells Trail Cutter, you should really change your name. And I think Trail Cutter, for what I remember, is like, well, what name should I pick? And Whirl, yeah, okay. And Whirl's like, maybe Trail Cutter would go good. So Trailbreaker went with, now changed the name to Trail Cutter. Also, while Trail Cutter is minding his own business, he does come across some of these Cybertronians which are frozen. It does explain, I think it does explain in here of how they're frozen in place. Yeah, but I don't really remember. It does explain it here, but I don't really remember, and I don't think you remember of how that they're frozen. But I can show you this funny part here. So here in this panel, we have what looks like the deluxe Insecticons, not the actual Insecticons, but these deluxe Insecticons, which are Chop Shop and Venom, going after Trail Cutter. And here Trail Cutter's trying to use up his force field, but apparently it did not work. So all you're seeing Trail Cutter doing is this, just waving at them like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And these Decepticons are like, "What is he doing?"
He's trying to make his force field come on, and that's the way he makes his force field come on, but it's not working, so the Decepticons are like, is he waving to us? What is he? Is he waving? What is he doing? He's actually trying to make his force field come on, but it's not working. So it looks more like he's waving to them.
And here we have Lockdown here, which is the character from from Phase 1 from the 4-issue miniseries called Drift. And here he is again. And that was where I said we are getting a little bit of Transformers animated characters here. And he has this group along with Venom and Chop Shop, and these are known as the Titan Hunters. And it does explain in here of what the Titan Hunters are for, which is here in this panel here. He's basically telling Trail Cutter about what the Titan Hunters stand for, which are like these Titans here, which are these ancient city Cybertronians here. And here, Trail Cutter is getting a plan to deal with Lockdown, and he did made it to do something with him along with the other Titan Hunters. And I think we're just about done. Yep. And here we see Trail Cutter finally has a Rodimus star here. And here we see Hoist here that has this thing, which is not a Rodimus star, but a little gold thing with a picture of Rodimus here, which kind of looks like the original G1 toy of Rodimus here. And that's it for Spotlight Trail Cutter. They did explain some parts in this, but and they do tell you in the Spotlight here, but I've only said for what I remembered in his Spotlight here, and you do remember some parts of his Spotlight. But that's it for Trail Cutter. Now we're moving on to the Spotlight of Hoist here.
Hoist is it's a interesting one here to spotlight on him. So it's got its ups and downs, and what you think is not exactly what's going on.
What this is Hoist and a few of these Autobots he has with him, or Cybertronians that he has with him, are crash landed on this planet, which does have a name, and and Preceptor did Preceptor, which is here, explains to Hoist about what this planet is that they're on. And here, you can see Preceptor is hanging on the ceiling here. And it does explain of how he's on the ceiling here. And here we do get information about how Sunstreaker found Bob, which is his pet Insecticon, and it's a reference from the All Hail from not All Hail Megatron, but it's a reference from the Transformers ongoing series from Phase 1. Right here. And you did said that this is an interesting spotlight.
In this world right here, the council, there was a council that made up a consciousness, unconsciousness kind of way to defend the planet against the Decepticons if they ever tried to take it over. And the problem with this is that whatever the Decepticons would think, it would materialize and it would look and feel so real. Well, that's how come the Decepticons never did conquer this planet. Because this machine that was put in place to defend the planet, it hooks on to the consciousness of whatever you're thinking. So when the Autobots crash landed there and stuff like that, they were, that's why you've seen in this episode of Torn and some other Decepticons, but they're not real. But to the Autobots, they think and they feel real. They look real. But this consciousness machine type system, it latches on to what you're thinking. So the Autobots, as they go through and stuff like that, they're trying to find out, and it's not towards the end of the story that they start to understand, well, what is, if it's not your memories that it's latching onto, it's not Perceptors, and if it's not Hoist, then whose is it? Well, remember what Colton said about they had a dog, a little pet Insecticon named Bob? Well, that's what this machine kind of like substance latched onto, was his thoughts. And so it's weird, but in this story, they're using a Insecticon kind of as a dog, as kind of a pet. So that's when they find out towards the end of it that it's actually Bob's consciousness that this machine-like substance wrangled into. It was Bob's conscious, subconscious mind. So that's when Hoist finds out and he says, yeah, I'm staring right at him. So Hoist takes him out. And then you see on the next page a big Metroplex, and then all of a sudden Metroplex dissolves, dematerializes. but he was never real from the beginning. It was all going off of Bob's thoughts. In other words, it was going off of a pet's thoughts instead of a robot Cybertronian thought. So that was pretty weird.
But and that's it for spotlight of Hoist. But it is still like an interesting
Yes.
book, like understanding of what's going on. Because all of this, from what you said, is from Bob's thought.
Yes. Pretty much Bob's thoughts, but they're thinking it's all of them in the story, and it's not actually about their stories at all. They're about Bob's stories coming. What Bob's thinking, and Bob is like a pet. It's very weird, but once you read it from start to finish, then you understand that that's how crazy these books are. I would have never thought that. That's pretty ingenious, but I mean, you'd be thinking it's always Autobots, Decepticons. No, they threw a loop in there. This was coming from a pet.
So that's it for Spotlight of Hoist. Now we're at the Robots in Disguise issue, which is issue number 7. And this tells a lot about this Decepticon that was in, for what I remember, from the Drift miniseries from Phase 1 called Turmoil. And Turmoil in this, they do explain of what Turmoil is, and he is a Decepticon, but he is a, he's like the type of Decepticon where you don't want to be around with, because he'll mess you up. So Wheeljack, who is here, is trying to investigate for Turmoil's like what's going on with Turmoil here. And here we do see Jazz and Skybite, the shark, jamming out from this part here, which I think is the bar where Blur is serving drinks, because if y'all remember, I think I've said this from volume 1 of Phase 2, in More Than Meets the Eye, Swerve starts his own bar, and in Robots in Disguise, Blur starts his own bar. So I think that this is where Jazz and Skybite are jamming out, because you can see Jazz is carrying a guitar here and singing along with Skybite here. and there might be some other ones that are here. Oh, and when Wheeljack is investigating Turmoil's things, Turmoil comes out and shoots Wheeljack here. And Wheeljack does come back online here. Somewhere in here that does say about how Wheeljack got back online, but that I don't remember. It does say it in here, but I don't remember. All I do remember about this is about Turmoil, and, well, he is, like I said, a Decepticon that you don't want to be around with, because he'll do something to you. Now we're at More Than Meets the Eye, issue number 6. And here, it explains here about Fortress Maximus here, which I think is from the Last Stand of the Wreckers comic. Yeah, I think, because here you could see here's Overlord. Like, I think this is from Fortress Maximus's flashback here with Overlord here. And Fortress Maximus is telling Rung about what's going on with him, because Rung in here, if y'all remember from Volume 1, is a psychiatrist, like trying to help out some Cybertronians about what's going on with them. And here we have Swerve's bar, where we have these guys here. And oh, yeah. And here, Fortress Maximus, it does explain in here, but here you could see Fortress Maximus is beating up Whirl here. And Whirl does explain in this issue about he used to be a wrecker, and we do find out like some of his origins story in this issue here. Yeah, here it talks about Whirl here. And towards the end here, we do see Overlord is is attached to something here from the very bottom. And of course, it does say where he's attached to or hidden from. Okay, well, I can show y'all this. Red Alert is going around looking for things, and he spots Overlord here. So that's it for the issue 6 of More Than Meets the Eye. Now we're at issue 7 of More Than Meets the Eye. And this tells the story of these Cybertronians called the DJD, which stands for the Decepticon Justice Division.
Now, if y'all remember, he did do a review on all the DJD team past that he has.
Well, I have done a review of all of them except for one. And these members here are a group, but their
ultimate goal is to find any rogue Decepticons that got out of line with Megatron and bring them to justice, to Megatron, in one piece if possible. If not, whatever scraps they can bring back. They are a team elite Decepticons that are for Megatron's Justice Court. That's a good way to put it.
And the leader of the DJD, named Tarn, does deal with one of the Decepticons, and his name is Black Shadow.
Mm-hmm. The DJD team is ruthless. They are a bunch of unhinged, psychotic Decepticons that is a group alliance to bring any rogue Decepticons that go against the Decepticons' beliefs and Megatron to justice. Decepticons justice. If you're willing to go without a fight. But if you put up a fight, they like it that much more.
And we also too get introduction of this new recruit called the scavengers here, which includes Misfire, Croc, Crankcase, Spinister, and they too got a new recruit called Fulcrum, which they found from a place where there was a lot of dead Cybertronians, but one of them is like sort of still functioning. So the scavengers figured out a way of how to bring him back online. And here, the scavengers are investigating around some things, and they do get a message here from Tarn, who's telling them there's going to be some trouble going with y'all. And then at the end of this issue, one of the scavengers come across none other than Grimlock here, which is in this little stasis tube here. So that's it for issue 7 of More Than Meets the Eye. And here's issue 8. And this part here tells the first panel here tells the origin story of Fulcrum here. And this guy does transform into like a little missile thing. And it does explain in here of how he turned into a little missile thing. And here we have the scavengers here. And here we do get a little bit of a couple of the Lost Light crew, which is Chrome Dome and Skids. And Chrome Dome is trying to do a little brain surgery with his fingers to try and read his mind. And also comes out the DJD, and also Grimlock, who comes out and fights some of the DJD, including the leader here, which is Tarn. Oh, and another member of the Scavengers is this guy named Flywheels, and in this issue, he does oh, well, yeah. Here, you could see Chrome Tome is doing a little surgery on Skids to find out what's going on with him. But here, we could see Flywheels about to get something that he was not expecting. So one of the DJD members, Tesserus, grabs Flywheels, picks him up, and drives him into this guy named Tesserus. And what Tesseruses have is in this hole from his chest.
It's like a grinder. He's like a self-made grinder.
So he takes Flywheels and brings him into his chest and gets, you can see here, shattered into pieces. And Croc, Croc, part of the Scavengers, goes, Flywheels! And Flywheels is dead.
He was
shredded to pieces.
Yeah, he was Decepticon kibble bits. Yep. Decepticon little niblets. That's what he become.
And here we have Croc being strangled by Kaon, part of the DJT, and this guy named Voss puts him out of his misery by taking his face off, and inside of his face are a bunch of nail or spikes, and he basically just stabs Croc's face with Kaon, or with Voss's own face. Like basically taking his own face and just...
Yeah, he's kind of like a pinhead. Or a pin cushion. Yeah, yeah.
And here we have Tarn and Grimlock. Tarn's telling Grimlock about what's going on. Oh, and one of the Scavengers pilots this thing here, which which one of the Scavengers calls it the Mighty Mega Puncher here. And it is Crankcase piloting these here. And here, the Scavengers see what's left of Flywheels which is just his lower body, which is his legs and waist. Because his whole entire upper body is gone. So what the scavengers do is they take pieces of what's left of flywheels and start ripping them apart and borrowing some kibble pieces from him. And cut to 18 months later, this is all he's left with. And we have this robot looking at what's left of flywheels, which we are going to find out what this is in the next, I don't know, volume. But he writes his name here. And that's all the issues that's in More Than Meets the Eye. Now we have 2 issues of Robots in Disguise and the Spotlight of Orion Pax. I'm trying to make this as quick as I can. Trying to make this as quick as I can.
Go ahead.
But here in the next issue of Robots in Disguise, we have this robot named Ironhide, where he's talking about his where he has a vision of the future, and we see the Dinobots here. Well, not all the Dinobots, but what's left of them, because their leader Grimlock is on the somewhere else. He's part of the scavengers. And we have Skylinks here with the Dinobots here. And Skylinks is taking Ironhide and the Dinobots here to somewhere to investigate what's going on, and also talking about Ironhide's vision of the future. And they do come across these things, which they do have a name here of these things, but I forgot what they're called. And Ironhide and the Dinobots are talking about things and stuff. But then, and we do get a little bit of these Decepticons here, like Shockwave and Swindle and Dirge here. And at the end of this issue, Ironhide here gets stabbed from none other than Swoop here. So Ironhide and the Dinopods are like fighting with each other, which I think the next issue here, which is where we're at now, is issue number 9 of Robots in Disguise. But here we got some narration from Bumblebee here. Yeah, I was right. The Dinopods in here are fighting Ironhide. But then Ironhide calls in Silverbolt here for some backup. And here we have Bumblebee and Wheeljack here. And more of Ironhide talking to Silverbolt here. Oh, and we have Bumblebee and Blur talking at Blur's bar here. And RC here, that's spying on these Decepticons here. And this part here, Ironhide is getting chased down by the Dinobots here. But they are interrupted by the aerial bots here that form Superion here. And here's a full page, like a 2-page full shot of Superion here. And little more narration from Bumblebee here. And that is the end of the issue of Robots in Disguise. Now we're at the last part of this book, which is the spotlight of Orion Pax. We're almost done. Mm-hmm. So, what I do know about the spotlight is that this is all about what this is Orion gets a new body, which is here, from Wheeljack here, and from what I remember, he's, I think, okay with it, except he doesn't like anyone seeing his mouth. Like, other words, he needs like a faceplate on him. And we do get the introduction of Alpha Trion here. And these robots here that was taking custody in this trailer here called Rack and Ruin. But in here, that there were like 3 components of this, but not Nightbeat, who's also in here, says, I have no idea about the third one. He's talking about the name of the third component of these 2. And also, these Rack and Ruin do not transform because their transformation cogs were fried up. So other words, they cannot transform. And also, we do get the first appearance of Bludgeon here. And Orion and the other Autobots we're fighting off Bludgeon and his little army he has. But then Orion here, we're now cut to Orion that's getting strapped down on a little space shuttle and flying off somewhere. And then as soon as he crash lands, Orion gets back up and he finds a piece that's laying down and he grabs it and puts it on his mouth, which represents he has a faceplate now. And that's the end of the spotlight. And that's it for Volume 2. We're now finally finished. And now I can zoom out. Okay. Okay. I know that this video might be was kind of long, but I tried to show y'all everything that I could as quick as I can. But I have showed what I could.
Okay. Calm down. There's a lot to these when we do a review on these, so it takes a little while. So he did good. So we just got finished with this. He has another one that we're going to get off into, but not quite yet, and it's just as long and extensive of what this one here is. This one here has got a couple good parts in it that I wasn't expecting. That turned out real well. I like the spin that they put on when Optimus Prime and Hot Rod got in the way. And it was a nice twist to see how Hot Rod transformed and got away from Megatron. And then that led to Optimus Prime. I mean, normally you would see that come from Megatron, not Optimus. So that was a nice little thought. That was a nice little turn. So there's just a lot to these. So.
And I tried to remember what I could, but because I don't. Sometimes I remember everything, but not sometimes not so much, and that's why I was trying to flip through and show what I could.
All right. Yo, we have nothing to review except for what we did. So, it's about time to wrap it up. The next review is going to be different because we're going to take you to the past again. So, we need to go ahead and get this book out of the way. We got it out of the way. Now we're going to go ahead and wrap up. We have another review, and it's going to be from the past, but y'all see them. So anyway, Colton, take us out here. It's good seeing y'all. Y'all take care. We appreciate y'all.
And if you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. And of course, don't forget to check out my shirt merch. I'll put the link in the description below. If y'all want to buy one of these in colors and sizes. And that is about it. So, thanks for watching.
Take care, y'all.